It started with a headache, nothing unusual, just a dull pressure behind the eyes after a long day at work. He ignored it. Then came the dizziness, the sudden fatigue, the strange numbness in his fingers. Still, he told himself it was stress. But inside his brain, a deadly clock had already started ticking. And within 24 hours, his entire life would change forever. Every year, millions of people suffer stroke. Some survive, others never wake up again. But what makes strokes truly terrifying is that the body often sends warnings long before disaster strikes. Warning many people never recognize. Today, we are uncovering what actually happens inside the human body before a stroke, the silent symptoms most people ignore, and the terrifying truth doctors wish more people understood, because one day these warning signs could save your life or the life of someone you love. The silent pressure inside the body. Deep inside the brain, billions of nerve cells communicate every second. Thoughts, movement, memory, speech, emotion, everything depends on one thing: blood flow. The brain may only represent a small percentage of body weight, but it consumes enormous amounts of oxygen every minute. And unlike many other organs, brain cells begin dying within minutes when oxygen stops arriving. That's why strokes are so deadly. A stroke happens when blood flow to part of the brain becomes blocked, or when blood vessels suddenly burst. And in those terrifying moments, parts of the brain begin shutting down. But long before the collapse happens, the body often whispers warnings. Subtle signs, tiny changes, moments people dismiss as ordinary stress or exhaustion. And that silence is what makes stroke so dangerous. If you are watching this right now, take a second to subscribe to the channel, because the information in these documentaries could someday help you recognize a deadly warning sign before it's too late. And if someone with high blood pressure, diabetes, or frequent headaches, share this video with them, you may end up saving a life without even realizing it. The first warning signs. For many people, the first signs don't look dramatic at all. A strange headache, blurred vision, sudden dizziness, temporary numbness, confusion, difficulty speaking, moments that last seconds, then disappear completely. And because the symptoms fade, people ignore them. But doctors have a name for this terrifying warning: a transient ischemic attack, often called a mini stroke. It's one of the body's final warning before a major stroke arrives. And frighteningly, many people experience these symptoms days or hours before a catastrophic event. The body is literally sounding an alarm, but most people don't hear it. What happens inside the brain during a stroke? Inside the brain, millions of cells rely on constant oxygen. The moment blood flow stops, panic begins. Brain cells become starved. Chemical reactions spiral out of control. Inflammation spreads. Tissues start dying minute by minute. And depending on the affected area, the consequences can be devastating. Speech may disappear. Memory may collapse. Vision may blur. Muscles may suddenly stop responding. Entire section of the body can become paralyzed within moments. Imagine waking up unable to move one side of your body, unable to speak clearly, unable to recognize loved ones. That is the horrifying reality many stroke survivors face, and for some, life never fully returned to normal again. But perhaps the scariest part of strokes is how ordinary the warning signs can seem. The dangerous symptoms of stroke people ignore. Sometimes it starts with exhaustion, other times slurred speech, a drooping face, sudden confusion, loss of balance, or a headache so severe it feels different from anything before. But busy lives make people dismiss symptoms constantly. I'm just tired, I need sleep, it's stress, I'll be fine tomorrow, and tragically, many never make it to tomorrow unchanged. A father in his early 40s noticed weakness in his arm while driving home from work. He laughed it off, thought he slept badly the night before. Hours later, he collapsed in his kitchen. His daughter found him unable to speak, unable to move. Doctors later confirmed he had suffered a major stroke, and by the time treatment began, parts of his brain had already died. If this documentary is helping you understand your body better, comment below. Health is wealth. It helps more people discover these videos through the algorithm, and it also tells me you want more cinematic medical documentaries like this. The biggest risk factors of stroke. Most stroke don't happen randomly. There are hidden conditions silently increasing risk every day. The biggest one is high blood pressure. Doctors call it the silent killer because many people feel perfectly normal, while dangerous pressure damages blood vessels for years. Other major risk factors include diabetes, smoking, obesity, high cholesterol, excessive alcohol, stress, poor sleep, lack of exercise. Even chronic emotional stress can slowly damage the cardiovascular system over time. Many stroke victims looked healthy before disaster struck. When the body starts shutting down due to stroke, as a stroke worsens, the brain struggles desperately to survive. Signals stop traveling properly. Muscles stop responding. Confusion deepens. And in severe cases, the body begins losing critical function. Breathing may become difficult. Consciousness may fade. Some patients become trapped inside the bodies they can no longer control. Fully awake, yet unable to move or speak. A terrifying prison created within minutes. The race against time. Doctors often repeat one phrase during stroke emergencies. Time is brain, because every passing minute destroys more brain cells. Fast treatment can mean the difference between full recovery, permanent disability, death. That's why recognizing symptoms early matters so much. Medical experts use a simple warning system called FAST. F represents face drooping. A, arm weakness. S for speech difficulty. T, for time to call emergency services immediately. Those 4 signs have saved countless lives, but many people still wait too long, hoping symptoms disappear, not realizing irreversible damage is happening every second. If you've made it this far into this documentary, subscribe and turn on notification. This channel is dedicated to cinematic health stories that could help you protect yourself and your loved ones. And if you want more long documentaries like this, hit the like button so YouTube pushes this video to more people. Life after a stroke for survivors. The battle is often just beginning. Relearning speech, walking again, physical therapy, emotional trauma, depression, memory struggles. Some people recover remarkably. Others never regain the lives they once had, and families often become caregivers overnight. One medical emergency can permanently reshape entire household. How to reduce your risk of stroke. The good news is many strokes are preventable. How to reduce your risk of stroke. The good news is many strokes are preventable. Simple habits can dramatically reduce risk. Number 1, control blood pressure. Reduce salt intake. Exercise regularly. Stop smoking. Sleep properly. Manage diabetes. Reduce stress. Maintain healthy weight. And perhaps, most importantly, never ignore unusual symptoms. The body often warns us before disaster comes. Some of the deadliest moments in life arrive quietly, not with explosions, not with alarms, but with whispers. A headache, a numb hand, a moment of confusion, tiny warnings that seem harmless until everything changes forever. Right now, somewhere in the world, someone is ignoring symptoms that could soon alter their entire future. And maybe after watching this documentary, they will finally listen to their body before it's too late. Because sometimes survival begins with recognizing the warning signs early enough to act.